Hey there, so in this video what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at how to harden off your vegetable plants. Often when you take out your plants from a tunnel or your windowsill, your glass house, what can happen is if you stick them straight into the ground, they can actually die of things like shock or wind damage, or especially slug damage as well, because the leaves will be quite soft, kind of very lush, and so slugs can, they kind of really like them, so they can eat a whole bed of your plants. Pigeons and things like that can also be a problem often. So we're going to have a look at how to harden them off and also how to protect them. So I'll see you over there. So just in this example, what I'm going to do is show you how to harden off your plants. And what you do is, it's very, very simple. You take your, whatever it is, in this case it's lettuces, and you bring them outside because they've been in the tunnel, or if you were, using a windowsill or something like that, and you just place them outside. And this is very, very important. What you have to do is, for the first day, you just put them out for 2 hours. Then the next day, you put them out for 3 or 4 hours, and you just basically keep bringing them in and out until about a week's up, and you have them out for maybe, I don't know, 8 hours or longer. And then what I usually do is I wait kind of until there's kind of a rainy night, because rainy nights tend to be warmer in Ireland anyway. Because if you have clear sky, what can happen is there wouldn't be any clouds and all the heat kind of can escape. So I then leave them overnight, and then they're ready to plant. So it's a very, very simple way of hardening off plants, is by just taking the tray out and acclimatizing them to the conditions outside. Now, a good technique to harden off your plants is actually using these cold frames. You can see we have a lot of little plants and young seedlings in there ready to be hardened off. They're actually ready to be planted now. We basically put them in there and we open the lid, 2 hours the first day and so on. And now the lid is actually open. So that's all you really got to do. So a very, very good way and a quick way to do it. So one of my favorite things are these kind of plastic bottles here. I get them from a friend who drinks quite a lot of water. He's living in the city and he doesn't like the chlorine and the fluoride that we happen to have in our city waters. And basically you just stick them over your plants. They protect pretty much your plants from anything like slugs, wind damage, especially the cold, things like that. So I'll just show you a quick example. So you can see my Swiss chard now in these bottles growing away like mad. If I hadn't done this now, the chard would actually only be this tall, and that's because we've had terrible kind of weather in the last 2 months. It hasn't been actually very hot, so I'm using a lot of these bottles. Another consideration is that if you can see the moisture here building up, so if you have these bottles, you don't really have to water them at all. You can just kind of put them on, make sure that you put a little bit of soil on there just to kind of wedge them in, and so they don't blow off. And you can just leave them like that for 2, 3, 4 weeks until the plant really fills the whole bottle. Then you can slowly, just take off the bottle and harden them off. Never ever ever take off the lid, because if you do, what's going to happen is all that water, because this is like a little mini oven, will just be sucked out of the ground, and within like 2 or 3 days your plants will dry out and die. So that's just a consideration to have as well. So you can see here I've made some fleece tents around my runner beans, and the reason I've done that is more because of the cold, because they don't really like the cold at all. These are getting a little bit yellowish because we had a bit of a bad spell there, and so I placed it around most of them, and they're just going to climb along these poles here. And it's really easy to make these by just getting a nice big triangle piece of fleece. So you cut out a really big square and then cut that in half, kind of across, so you get a triangle. And then all you got to do is you tie the pointy bit to the top of your stake, and you just bring it down like a tent shape. you know, and you cover it with stones. Now it protects, of course, against slugs and different things like that as well. And all I got to do is really open the entrance to let a bit of cool air in and just harden them off as well again. So here what I'm doing is I'm building a kind of a wicking structure, and I've placed all the peas inside of it. And the reason I've done that is because of pigeons and you know, rabbits as well. They can be a problem. I'm going to finish actually weaving this. It's a very, very easy weave, and I just kind of go all the way around until I get quite high, and the peas can just attach themselves to the inside of this thing. I can still just about maybe get my hand in there, but because I'm doing like seed saving, I don't really have to be able to access the peas until, you know, they're you know, at harvest time really. I've often found using things like chicken wire in a kind of a coil is a similar method that I've kind of been using for some time, and you just have it about maybe, oh, I don't know, a meter or something like that high, and you can actually reach down into them. But it's just a really, really good way to protect your plants if you're, you know, where there's pigeons or, you know, as I said, the rabbits as well. Now what you can also do is, if you want to spend a little bit of money, you can get some of these black plastic pipes. They're kind of stiff plastic, and you make a kind of a bend, kind of a bow shape, and all you've got to do is add, you know, every maybe 30-40 centimeters another one of these, and then just put a bit of polytunnel plastic or maybe fleece on top, and there you have a lovely little mini greenhouse. Just showing you another actual method of protecting your crops, and that's actually the strawberry barrel. You can see it in one of my videos, and what I really like about these is that, first of all, you could protect it with fleece, no problem, but the strawberries will kind of just hang down here, and it's just kind of out of the reach of the slugs. Now make sure that the birds don't really get at them, because they love these kind of, you know, strawberry plants. So just a quick little update on that. So another very important thing to do is to protect your plants from cabbage root fly, and the way to do that is by giving each plant an individual collar, and it's just a bit of cardboard. You cut a little line there and a little line, almost like a cross, I suppose, and all you have to do then is you just place it around the base of the plant. And the reason you're doing that is because you get this little fly, and it comes along and it lays its eggs right at the base of the actual plant, and it's you know, has these little grubs. When they hatch, they, you know, kind of burrow their way down, eat all the little roots, and you notice really, you know, if you have it, that the leaves kind of droop a lot when it's warm. So this is a really good way to avoid you know, this pest, this problem, but bearing in mind that you have to do each single one as well. Now another thing, we're in the tunnel now, I just wanted to show you, and that is basically how to protect your single kind of plants, or maybe also entire beds, from cats. I have about 3 cats, and they basically go to the toilet in these kind of lovely kind of, you know, fresh beds. And what I've done is I protect this kind of plant by just sticking in sticks, and they're not really going near it. And I've done the same, protecting that kind of bed with those willows just cut and stuck in, and maybe stuck in at an angle, and that's protected them really, really well, because I have some cayenne peppers there, which are very, very slow at the moment, but hopefully now we'll have a bit of a heat wave soon, and, you know, things will really, really start growing. And this is going really well. I'm going to plant them out now soon. Now, last but not least, you can see, just quickly I'll show you my leeks are there, my onions and my skirrets are down there. What I have is of course my scarecrow, but what I really want to show you is the kind of floating fleece, or the fleece cover. I have that on my carrots and my parsnips, and what I wanted to show you is how to set it up in a very, very simple way. And the way I do it, I just find this really, really easy. I just get some sticks, and I kind of run them all the way around the edges, and then I just put some upside down kind of plant pots or maybe jam jars, and then I just put my fleece on top of that. I find this very, very good because it still gets a lot of water. It creates a kind of a barrier for the air. The air can't really escape, so it heats it up a few more degrees as well, and the rain can still get through as well, which is a very, very good thing to have if you've been having like bad weather that we've been having. Especially this cold, you know. I don't know if you can see just right through it. There's little tiny carrot plants in there, a few weeds as well. But I'll take that off now. Maybe in I don't know, maybe another 4 weeks time. I'll weed off everything, thin out the carrots, and just put it back, you know. Now, I hope you enjoyed the clip. If you have any kind of questions or comments, then just leave them down below. And yeah, I'll see you next week.